One day, a person wakes up and he realizes that his life is destroyed. Usually what happens, he blames other people for that. Sometimes he refers to them as evil people. But it's not really like that. I'm going to use a famous quote from Albert Einstein that talks about the world, but since a person is considered to be olam katan, a small world, we could apply that to ourselves as well. Albert Einstein said the following: the world would not be destroyed by those who do evil, but those who watch them without doing anything. How does it have to do with a person? Well, there are forces in life. We all live in a yellow submarine, but we all live in a very dynamic, ever-moving environment. People come and go through our lives. Things happen. Nothing is the way it is. That was the mistake, for example, of Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu, right, as the parasha tells us, after he finished with, with Esav and everything like this, he wanted to sit down, he didn't want to do anything. It says, Miyad kafats alav rugzo shel Yosef. You know, when you want to sit down, vegetate, and do nothing, immediately something else will come in and will get you preoccupied. You can't just sit there and do nothing, because the world is all dynamic. Always. Even the universe is always in the process of expanding and expanding and expanding. It's always moving. The problem is, and I sent it to somebody today, I said something like this: you cannot do, let me see how actually I sent it to him. And you can basically expect, let me show you how. Don't live the same year, 75 years, and call it a life. Living like that is not life. Yes, you gotta always be moving and doing things, and new things, experiment new things, take challenges. People don't want to be challenged. People don't want to face any kind of a challenge, because God forbid they would fail. Take new challenges. For example, see if you can run a 5K. Go learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like a year. I'm not talking about it's effective, not effective. I'm not talking about this. Take a new challenge. Learn how to paint. Learn how to play an instrument. Go on a solo trip to a foreign country. Learn how to ride a motorcycle. Go on a solo trip on a motorcycle, coast to coast, you know. Try new things, always evolve, always like this. But living life day in and day out, the same thing over and over. Not being active in your life. That's what destroys your life. I'm not talking about not having stability in your life. Stability is something that would allow you to grow and develop. But as we spoke about it many times before, the mindset of a child that always wants to explore and is fascinated with new things, we don't want this anymore. We lost this. And when we leave this vacuum, there's no such thing as this vacuum, because once you create a vacuum, something comes in and fulfills this vacuum. So when you don't live your own life, you're living somebody else's life. There's no such thing as just like, you know, same old, same old. There's no such thing. Why do you want to live somebody else's life? Live your own life. And when you don't do it, your life will be destroyed, because you were sitting there passive about your life, letting life coming and make you drift all over the place like a leaf. The Ari said that the worst Gilgul is, the worst reincarnation is to come as a leaf. And I said, look, why? Leaf is beautiful, changes colors. He said, no, because every wind that comes, it comes, and you move with every wind. Get slapped all the time. Even a small breeze comes and slaps you all the time. And at the end, you get so tired that you crumble. And then you fall down to the floor, and then slowly you crumble until you become dust. Where do you think all the leaves go? They turn up into dirt, into nothing. That's exactly what we are, leaves in the wind. That's not good. I think that one of the biggest contributors to such a waste of life is not only sitting down and willing to do nothing and not taking new challenges or trying to explore. There's other things for that. It's because what we were told all the time. We were taught to become successful in life. We are not taught to be satisfied with life. And the success is always you measuring yourself against someone else. So you can never be your own self. You always have to compare yourself to somebody else. However, when you live satisfied life, you're living your life according to your own, your own heart, your own self. And that's something for us to remember. Everybody tells you, you have to become successful, get a successful career, successful this, be successful. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make better. Because again, when our success is measured by others, right? Who determines if you are successful or not? Somebody else. When you go, oh, this guy is successful. Success is being measured by somebody else, where satisfaction is measured by your own heart, your own soul, your own being. Nobody teaches you to find a path in your life, a career or something in your life, that you're going to be satisfied. I didn't say content with what I have, I don't want to do any kind of a thing. No! That the things that you do actually give you satisfaction. You are not even being challenged to explore what gives you satisfaction. What fulfills you. It's always about how money. Look in Israel. In Israel, the Jewish mother dream was to have her son a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant. That was the trifecta of Jewish being. Well, today in Israel, the goal of every mother is that her son will be a high-tech, and then make a company and make a big exit, and what's his name, Bennett, and then will be a prime minister. To be a high-tech, to go to this unit in the army, 820, and then become a high-tech startup. Who says that's the right thing? That's what it is. It's always being measured with something. Why? Because it makes a lot of money. But maybe you hate computers. Maybe you actually love growing trees and becoming a farmer. A farmer? Yeah, that's good. Gives me satisfaction. We don't teach our kids to be satisfied because we ourselves, and the reason is because of ourselves. Because we don't live this kind of a life. We're not even aware that we need to be satisfied. We think that to be satisfied is to have a lot of money. And that is not true. That is absolutely not true. Satisfaction to feel is measured by your own soul, your own mind, your own heart. That's something that unfortunately is not being taught. Not in schools, not in yeshivot, not at home. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference what the other person is doing. What makes a difference is with your heart. It creates a certain dissonance in ourselves, that at the end, that lack of satisfaction, as the Mesilat Yesharim wrote, would have to be quiet down. It's almost like a well that the only way to control the flow of it is to put cement over it and to basically choke it. That lack of fulfillment in our life could only be quiet down with tremendous seek of pleasures, physical pleasures, all about eating and drinking and all kind of like crazy things that people do today. That's the reason. If you want to know why there's so much craziness in the world in terms of like sexual behavior, uncontrolled eating, and so on and so forth, all so many disorders that are associated with pleasure seeking, it's simply because of that. There is no fulfillment and satisfaction in what we do. Because we all try to be successful, we're not trying to be satisfied. We're not trying to be fulfilled. We don't seek meaning in our lives. We want somebody else to do it. And well, the peoples are running the world to the ground. We're sitting on the fence doing nothing. And the same thing where we're sitting down and allow other people to run our lives and to determine what's good for us. We're sitting on a fence. And that's bad. Have a beautiful day.